James, is there a way that Kevin Durant gets traded to the Lakers to form a new super team alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis? Side note, do you think Trey Lance will be the starting quarterback for the 49ers? I cover the Niners here at Chat Sports. Yes, I think Trey Lance is going to be the starting quarterback. All this arm fatigue talk, I'm not buying into it. If you change your motion, you're going to deal with soreness. That's what happened with Trey, but a lot of you are just watching this for the NBA aspect. So, KD getting traded to the Lakers. It sounds like a great idea. KD playing with LeBron and AD, that's awesome. But if that's the case, what are you giving up to bring in KD? You do not have the assets to trade for Kevin Durant. The Brooklyn Nets are not going to take a 2027 first-round pick, another future first, and Russell Westbrook and Talen Horton-Tucker. That's just not going to move the needle. There are going to be better trade packages out there. So for the Lakers, you just have to keep dreaming. Look at me. What are the odds of the Lakers missing the playoffs once again? I say 100 out of 100. If Let's say like LeBron and AD get hurt, they're screwed. If LeBron and AD are healthy, then I do think they make the playoffs because they're way too good to not make the playoffs. Jordan Fallen, do you think that KD could go to the Lakers or the Trailblazers? No chance for the Lakers. For the Trailblazers, again, it comes down to assets. Jeremy Grant, Shaedon Sharpe, although he's getting shoulder surgery, so he's going to miss some time in the NBA Summer League. He's out for the remainder of it. Future draft picks. I know everybody got really excited about that edit with KD and Dame, but I just don't think it's really all that realistic. Would I like to see it? Yeah, KD and Dame would be a lot of fun. Both Nike guys, too, where the Nike headquarters is near in the Pacific Northwest where they have a massive following. But I just don't think it's realistic in the Lakers. They don't have any assets to give up unless it's Anthony Davis. Bound 77G. Who should the Lakers focus on signing? Put all your eggs in the Kyrie Irving basket and try to bring him in. It makes the team better. Get rid of Russell Westbrook. Kyrie would be cheaper and younger. I understand that people have concerns about Kyrie in the future, but with LeBron about to be 38 in December, you don't care about the future. F them picks, right? Who cares about those picks in 2025 and 2027? You're trying to win right now. Now make sure you turn on your notifications here at Chat Sports. Look, cover the NBA a lot here at Chat Sports, but also we're your home for the best NFL coverage. And with training camp coming up in just a couple of weeks, we're going to start to ramp up our NFL coverage and college football as well. So you don't want to miss anything that we're doing, anything that we're cooking up, whether it be a video on demand as we pump out multiple per day or a live show as we go live a couple times per week. So make sure you turn on those notifications. Therefore, when we do push out a video or go live, you'll be notified. How do you do it? You go to the settings app, scroll down, tap YouTube, tap notifications, and then turn on allow notifications. Therefore, you'll stay in the know with everything that we're doing. With that, I ask you this question. Name a free agent you still want your team to sign. So list your team and then give us a name in the comment section right now. Some pretty solid free agents available. Which one do you want your squad to ink to a deal? Let us know right now. Sammy slaps. Sammy slips too. At this point, shouldn't the Lakers trade Talen Horton-Tucker? I think the Talen Horton-Tucker just isn't all that good. I keep waiting for THT to break out. The Lakers keep telling me and keep trying to sell me on Talen Horton-Tucker being a good player, and he has certainly shown some flashes throughout his career. But last year, had a great opportunity to really prove his worth after getting that contract worth more than $30 million, and he didn't. So if you can trade him away and you can get a good asset back and in the process clear up some money on a team that is somewhat cap-strapped, then yeah, I would certainly do that and trade away THT. Rumple Foreskin. If Westbrook is traded, what team does a player like him belong on? Rebuild, tank, compete for a title. I think it's the San Antonio Spurs. I think that could be the move because they have some of the most cap space in the NBA. They can absorb that one-year contract at $47 million, which is way too much and exorbitant for what Russell Westbrook is as a player today. But basically, they would serve as a facilitator for a 3-team deal with the Lakers, and they'd be able to take on that contract by trading away DeJounte Murray. It looks as though they're going to tank. They're looking to rebuild to a certain degree after a couple of years of just being a mediocre basketball team. So it's San Antonio from that standpoint. As for a playing standpoint, I really can't think of a team that would want Russell Westbrook. SM, if the Lakers don't get Kyrie, what other moves will they make? They can't really do much else. I think they've kind of exhausted what they've wanted to do and accomplish. One, there's not really that many great free agents out there. Two, they needed depth. They needed to get a little bit younger and bring in some youth. They did it with Lonnie Walker. I kind of like Damian Jones as a backup center. Thomas Bryant, when healthy, is pretty solid. But, yeah, other than that, the Lakers have 3 max contract guys, and it's really tough for them to do anything else with 3 maxes. Pop Johnson next up in our mailbag. Who is your top 5 underrated rookies going into the season? Is Keegan Murray underrated because he got selected number 5? Is Benedict Mathurin a little bit underrated? He's been tearing it up in the Summer League alongside Keegan Murray. Those are 2 right there. I think E.J. Liddell can get minutes for the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm thinking of some other player. Jalen Williams, I think, is a really good selection as a 3-and-D guy who could get minutes right away because those types of players, they're needed on an NBA roster. I think that people are sleeping on Jabari Smith. They're ripping him, saying he's going to be a bust. I think he's going to be just fine. So those are some of the players that I'm looking at. How about Colin Gillespie as an undrafted free agent out of Villanova, a guy who also has been playing well for the Nuggets in the Summer League? $2 super chat coming in from Black Mariner. Thoughts on a Scotty Pippen Jr.? He's actually played pretty well throughout the Summer League. He has created on a pretty consistent basis. He has become and been a better scorer than I thought, and I mean that from an efficiency standpoint. At Vanderbilt, wasn't really a good three-point shooter, wasn't really an efficient offensive player, but he's had efficiency to his game. Has a nice little shiftiness and a little wiggle, too. I don't know if he's going to make the roster, but so far he's played good, and that's props to him. Pop Johnson next up in our mailbag. Who is your top 5 underrated rookies going into the season? Is Keegan Murray underrated because he got selected number 5? Is Benedict Mathurin a little bit underrated? He's been tearing it up in the Summer League alongside Keegan Murray. Those are 2 right there. I think E.J. Liddell can get minutes for the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm thinking of some other player. Jalen Williams, I think, is a really good selection as a 3-and-D guy who could get minutes right away because those types of players, they're needed on an NBA roster. I think that people are sleeping on Jabari Smith. They're ripping him, saying he's going to be a bust. I think he's going to be just fine. So those are some of the players that I'm looking at. How about Colin Gillespie as an undrafted free agent out of Villanova, a guy who also has been playing well for the Nuggets in the Summer League? Jay Fish. Can the Suns get Kevin Durant? Yes. Do the Nets want DeAndre Ayton? No. That is really the domino. And if they don't want DeAndre Ayton, they don't think that he can be a franchise pillar, then they're not going to trade away Devin Booker. They're not going to trade away Chris Paul. Can you put together a package of Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and some future picks? I think that's a decent haul for Brooklyn. I also kind of like what Brooklyn's been able to do in free agency. Obviously, you don't have that star, but if you can get a star, that's a pretty legit, well-rounded roster.